Hi everyone, my name is Emily, and I'm a library assistant at the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. In this video, we're going to highlight and learn to navigate one of our databases available with your library card, NoveList. NoveList is a database of fiction and nonfiction books and is particularly useful for finding what's known as a read-alike, or a book that is similar to a book that you liked. NoveList also contains book lists curated for all kinds of interests, from a historical fiction list called Shady Ladies to a classic science fiction list. It's a really useful resource for anyone looking to try a new author, look for books similar to ones that you know that you like, or try something completely different. We'll start by navigating to the resource on our website, carnegielibrary.org. On our homepage, you have two options. You can type in the database name here in this search bar right here in the middle of the screen, and then click on the purple magnifying glass, or you can search through the Research tab here at the top. We're going to go ahead and go with the Research tab because being familiar with this interface is helpful for navigating all of our online databases, not just NoveList. So to do that, we'll click on Research, and we're going to go ahead and scroll down a little bit until we get to this blue box down towards the bottom of the screen that says Find Resources. So you can see we can choose from subject and age group with a drop-down arrow. And this is particularly useful if you're not 100% sure what you're looking for, but you know maybe that you're looking for like a science database or something of that sort. Since we know specifically which database we're looking for, we're just going to type the title into the keyword section. So we're looking for NoveList. And then we'll click on this purple Find button. All right, so we've gotten our results back, and we're going to go ahead with the first one, NoveList Plus. And so we'll click on the link here. And this is where you have to enter the 14-digit library card number on the back of your library card, and then your 4-digit PIN number. Once you get all that information in, you'll be redirected to NoveList. There's lots of things you can do with this database, but we're going to focus on two things that will help to maximize the usage of the database, using the book lists and creating an appeal mixer combo. So first up, the book lists. You can find them on the left-hand side of this page under the heading Recommended Reads Lists, and you can toggle between fiction, nonfiction, and age group. So we're over here, we're on fiction and adult, and let's go ahead and look at Best of 2020 Fiction. So I'm going to click on this blue text here, and you'll see it brings up another box where it takes Best of 2020 Fiction and then breaks it down even further by genre. So best historical fiction, best science fiction, best romances, so forth and so on. Each list on the side of this page is like this, where it takes a larger genre and breaks it down even further. But since we're looking at Best of 2020 Fiction, let's go ahead and decide that we're going to look at Best Literary Fiction. So I'm going to click on Best Literary Fiction. We'll give that a minute to load. And here we go. You'll see there's another recommended reads box down here towards the center of the page. And if you scroll down, you'll see all the books that are in here. You can look at a book's popularity rating. You can click on the title or the author and see more information. So if we click on the author, you'll see it provides book appeal terms for the types of books they write. So this particular author writes characters that are authentic, complex, and culturally diverse, and their tone is bleak or heart-wrenching, moving, strong sense of place. They have a witty writing style. And you'll see when we look for appeal mixer, when we create appeal mixer combos later, how these terms play in. One more thing I want to point out, or two more things actually, is if the author has written multiple books, all of their books will be over here in this section of the page, and then over here on the right, these are author readalikes. So these authors write very similarly to this author, and chances are high that if you like this author's style, you will like these authors as well. So let's go ahead and go back to our list, and you'll see if we click on the title of the book, it's very much the same thing. It assigns appeal terms to the book, lets you know what those are. There are reviews down here from various places like Publishers Weekly. and there are title readalikes. So these are books that are very similar to this book, and you can click on these books and go to more information about them. So let's go ahead and head back to the home screen. And before we talk about creating an appeal mixer combo, I want to mention that you can find title and author readalikes for all of your favorite books simply by searching for them. So for example, my favorite book is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. So if we type that in the search bar, I always spell thief wrong, and click on the purple search button here, you'll see that The Book Thief is the first search result. And I mean, this might not always happen if you have a book that you like, where there's lots of books that have the same title. But in this particular case, my favorite book, The Book Thief by Markus Zusak, is our first search result. And you can look at title readalikes and author readalikes by clicking on either of these. So we can click on title readalikes. And so these are also books that I'm very likely to enjoy because I liked The Book Thief. So that said, let's go ahead and navigate back to the home screen again. And we're going to learn how to make an appeal mixer combo. An appeal mixer combo takes various ways you can describe a book, like character-driven, or lively, or slow-paced, and matches you with books that fit those descriptions based on reader and librarian ratings in NoveList. You can see that NoveList provides some examples over here, like leisurely paced and atmospheric, or action-packed and fast-paced. But we're going to make our own by scrolling down a little bit and clicking on this blue text here, Try Our Appeal Mixer. And now we've been taken to another page where we get to pick, over here on the left-hand side, a category, like character or storyline. And then depending on what you choose on the left-hand side, it brings up a list of terms on the right-hand side. You can pick up to 3 categories each time you search. So for this example, you can pick all 3. I'm only going to pick 2. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click on character instead of storyline. So we'll do character, and we'll do well-developed. And then we're going to use storyline as the second one. And we'll do plot-driven. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this orange Find Titles button. We'll give that a minute to load. All right, so we've got 243 results. That's a lot of options, but let's go ahead and click on View All to see what they are. So if you remember back to a couple minutes ago when we searched for The Book Thief, you'll notice that this list looks very similar to those search results, and you can navigate it the same way. So if we were interested in seeing read, we could click on Title Readalikes to see the title readalikes, just like we did when we looked at The Book Thief. We can see author readalikes if we wanted to click on that. The one thing I want to highlight that I didn't highlight earlier is you can actually check the library catalog from this page by clicking here. So it'll redirect you to our website, and you'll see there's the book, and you can check and see if it's available in your preferred library. So if we wanted just the regular print book, we can see what libraries it's at, and then we can put it on hold or go to the library. With that, you've got a good foundation for getting started with NoveList. As always, our staff are available to help virtually with any questions you have about NoveList or our other e-resources, and offer suggestions for what book to read next by chatting on our website, carnegielibrary.org, emailing info@carnegielibrary.org, or by calling 412-622-3114. Thanks for watching and happy reading.